Well, 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 well. The hype train has started, everyone. Yes, we've got a lot to talk about this morning. Welcome back to Big Mouth and welcome to the Big Mouth Daily Live. Remember, you can follow me on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. Bobcat, hey Mickey. Hello, Bobcat. I like the new profile picture. Very, very nice. So we've got a lot to get through this morning. So let's go. Normally, it's been a bit of a struggle to get some news, but isn't it shocking that Shazam Fury of the Gods, a film that's not out till 2023, has got so much hype around it already? And it's that director, David F. Sandberg, doing a lot of talking. Ronnie Dodge, morning, mate. Yes, sounds like Henry is in the movie. Oh, yes, my friend. Who told you? Billy Manchester United glazes out. Hello, my friend. Hello, Billy. So, basically, Pony Smasher was doing an Instagram Q&A. This was one of the questions. Thank you, Ronnie Dodd, for putting me onto the tracks of this. Most anticipated DC movie, ? Flash. What I've heard and seen from it seems amazing. That's David F. Sandberg saying he's seen and heard from it, and he loves it, and he's very excited. In fact, that is his most anticipated movie. Bobcat, today has continued the train of me having bad days, but there were some gems throughout the day. I'm glad to hear it, Bobcat. So David F. Sandberg is excited about the Flash movie. We've already been excited, but this just pumps the hype train. This also shows that Fury of the Gods, Shazam Fury of the Gods, will be a direct consequence of Flashpoint, and that's why Shazam's got a brand new costume, as I predicted. But the news doesn't stop there from David F. Sandberg. So, we go. Let's go with the updates. So let's go to the DC Direct. Shazam 2 director addresses if Dwayne Johnson and Henry Cavill appear in the sequel. While films like Zack Snyder's Justice League and The Flash continue to bring together the live-action DC universe, Warner Bros. Pushed forward with many standalone projects with less clear connections to the rest of the franchise. Amongst this group are films like Shazam and Black Adam that take place in the same universe while continuing to tell their own stories. Right, my friend, who are you, Sam Hargrave? Let me just educate you a little bit here. These are not standalone stories. From The Flash onwards, DC, live action, TV, and the movies will all be canon and all be interconnected. Stop saying this is standalone. It is not. Right. However, many fans remain eager to see Zachary Levi's Shazam meet Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam and Henry Cavill's Superman due to the deep links between the powerful characters in DC Comics. As Shazam Fury of the Gods begins production, the film's director has addressed potential of some surprise cameos in the film. Ronnie Dodge, which makes me excited. Everyone from The Flash onwards is all a connective universe, which is something we all want. Exactly, Ronnie. Kurt, Manchester United fan, Australia glazes out. Yo, brother, yo, Kurt. Bobcat, when I woke up, I had no plans to make a zombie movie. Now it's night and I'm making a zombie movie. Weird day, but exciting day, absolutely. So, Shazam 2 director on Black Adam and Superman cameos. To celebrate the National Day of Sweden, the Swedish Shazam Fury of the Gods director David F. Sandberg has run an Instagram Q&A in Swedish. In response to several fan questions, the director addressed the potential of Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam and Henry Cavill's Superman making surprise appearances in the DC sequel. Note, Sandberg questions have been translated from Swedish to English. When asked directly if The Rock will appear in Shazam's sequel, Sandberg outright denied the possibility, saying, no. He has his own movie. Johnson will make his long-awaited DC debut in Black Adam, which is set to release around a year before Fury of the Gods, in July 2022. Now, before we go on about Cavill, let me just say what I'm making of this. Basically, Black Adam's probably going to cameo in the post-credit scene for Shazam Fury of the Gods. Now, a director won't class a post-credit scene as that movie, so he's able to say, no, he's making his own movie. But I assure you, with Shazam 3, pitting Black Adam versus Shazam. That's official. That was muted ages ago. There will be a Black Adam cameo in a post-credit scene, I assure you, but he doesn't class a post-credit scene as that movie. So we go on. Meanwhile, one fan intended to ask whether Henry Cavill's Superman will make a cameo appearance in the 2023 film. However, due to a translation error, the question instead said Henry Cavill's Superman will have a cameo in Shazam 2. In response to the message, Sandberg jokingly avoided the question by saying, they will be disappointed when they translate this. So he's not answering it. So he's not answering the question. So basically, Cavill is going to be in Shazam Fury of the Gods and Black Adam. I am sure of it. Who will be joining Zachary Levi in Shazam 2? Henry Cavill. I'm saying that, by the way. While director David F. Sandberg outright denied the possibility of Dwayne Johnson's Black Adam making an appearance in the upcoming sequel, he seemed eager to avoid questions of a Superman cameo because it's happening and it's more than a cameo. The Man of Steel had a brief cameo in the concluding moments of the first film as he comedically visited Billy's school cafeteria. However, no actor was ever put to the role, with the hero's face being left off camera and only the iconic suit visible. It remains a major question who will play Superman going forward in the future of the DCEU, as the character has remained absent since 2017's Justice League. J.J. Abrams is currently in early stages of development on a Superman movie featuring a black actor in the iconic suit, but it is yet to be confirmed whether the film is separate from the main DC timeline. Yes, we know already that the Black Superman will be in his own universe, probably President Superman, and he will be the leader of his own Justice League and the Multiverse Justice League. That's what I'm thinking there. Bobka, I'm going to try and build some career, but not in the industry on YouTube. Nobody should have to pay to see my stuff, especially where world right now, everyone deserves entertainment. That's my main goal. That's very, very compassionate and kind of you, Bobcat, and I respect that. Ronnie Dodge, I think Henry has a supporting role in Fury of the Gods. I agree, Ronnie. Given Cavill is currently committed to starring in Netflix The Witcher series as Monster Hunter Geralt, it's hard to imagine the actor having time to take on a major role like Man of Steel going forward. Like the Man of Steel going forward. He's not filming The Witcher right now, is he? You call yourself a journalist? Makes it extremely unlikely Superman will appear in Shazam's sequel in any capacity. You are wrong. You are fucking wrong. Larger than the first film. Although with 2 years still to go until the release, it remains a possibility that the DCEU will secure its next Kryptonian actor by then. Basically, you're going, I don't know where you're going. Well, I do know where you're going with this, but you're wrong. Shazam and Black Adam are traditionally heavily intellect characters in the comics, so it would be surprising if the two didn't come up against each other on screen at some point. Yes, my friend, in Shazam 3 in the near future. You know this. However, Sandberg's comments seem to suggest that the two won't come face to face in this film. We already know that, with the bout potentially being saved for the third installment of the inevitable Black Adam sequel. As DC seems eager to establish The Rock's magical villain as a franchise star in his own right, the company may be looking for fans to build more connection to the character in solo films before crossing over the franchises. Shazam Fury of the Gods is set to release in theatres on June 2nd, 2023. So basically, apart from Sandberg's quotes, that was a pointless article. We'll talk about it in a minute. So, yes, basically, we all know that this is happening. What a TIT, I agree. Bobcat, I mean, I write for fun and I don't think I'm amazing at it. I just like coming up with fun stories. So let's just clarify this, right? That Henry Cavill, Superman, will be in both Shazam Fury of the Gods and Black Adam. Now, it would be absolutely shocking if President Superman turned up in Shazam Fury of the Gods and in Black Adam. That would be interesting. It would trigger a lot of people too. But I believe that Henry Cavill is still Superman, because if he wasn't, we would have been told directly by him and his people and Warner Brothers by now. Bobcat, everything I was going to do was going to be self-produced, but for some reason, people want to help produce stuff with me. That's awesome. So, Zachary Levi's Shazam 2 post-credit scene plan teased by director. Shazam Fury of the Gods, the sequel to 2019 Shazam starring Zachary Levi, is unique in comparison to other films and projects currently slated for the DC Extended Universe. Firstly, the original Shazam was one of the more critically acclaimed DCEU films, and its sequel will need to live up to that. But secondly, Shazam Fury of the Gods is one of the more family-friendly, light-hearted films in the works for the DCEU, and it just happens to be the last film with a confirmed release date from the studio. Now that filming is well underway, more info about the distinctive project is finally coming to light, from Levi's new costume to new story details. Recently, Shazam director David F. Sandberg, who has returned to direct the sequel, confirmed a few interesting details about the film himself. In celebration of the National Day of Sweden, David F. Sandberg, who is Swedish, participated in an Instagram Stories Q&A about Shazam, Fury of the Gods. It's important to note that these are translated responses from Swedish to English. The first question was in regard to how Fury of the Gods production has been so far, to which Sandberg claimed that there will in fact be more action this time around. There will be in fact more action. We've been filming for about 2 weeks now. Feels very good how costumes and scenery have become so far. There will be more action in this one as well, which will be interesting. This isn't all that surprising considering that the original cast of kids is older now and that the young members of Billy Batson's family gained their own powers and personas at the end of the first film. Sandberg also fielded questions about post-credit scenes in the Zachary Levi-led sequel. Nowadays, post-credit scenes are no longer surprises but expected, especially within the superhero genre. The 2019 Shazam utilized several post-credit scenes, and so Sandberg was also asked if Fury of the Gods will also have a few in store. According to Sandberg, there is a plan for that, but the film is not finished yet, so we will see how it will be in editing and so on. Finally, when asked what he is most looking forward to in Shazam Fury of the Gods, Sandberg shared his intentions in trying new things this time around. Trying new things, new costumes, more action, and a little different style of things. So far, it has become more handheld camera than in the first film. That's something we know Snyder likes to do. Feel that you do not have to do exactly the same things as the first film. It's still there in any case, so you can just as easily try something new. Expect the unexpected in Shazam ? Shazam 2. When it comes to superhero films, there's rarely ever just one film. Sequels are expected, if not greenlit before the first film wraps. This is why Sandberg's comments about deliberately trying new things from cameras to style are great news to audiences. It means the filmmakers aren't content with just churning out a repeat of the original, and it also reassures fans they won't know what to expect. The original Shazam film was fresh and interesting. It sounds like Sandberg intends to keep the franchise that way. Of course, Sandberg confirming the presence of post-credit scenes is also exciting, especially since Fury of the Gods looks to tie into Black Adam, starring The Rock. In the last article, they said it was standalone. Make your minds up. Shazam Fury of the Gods starring Zachary Levi is set to release in theatres on June the 2nd, 2023. By the way, expect that release date to be moved forward, not back. That's what I'm saying. Right. Ronnie Dodge, Witcher wrapped up a month ago. Exactly. He's talking utter bullshit. Bobcat, I'm going to try and Frankenstein Juniors a little. Ooh, awesome. Bobcat, are you going to watch In the Heights? I don't know what In the Heights is. I don't know where it's going to air. So if you tell me what it's all about, Bobcat, I may well watch it. So basically, right, this post-credit scene is Black Adam. That's why I put 2 and 2 together and made 4. It's obvious, and they don't class post-credit scenes as the movie. He's not, listen, right? He's not going to tell you that Black Adam is in his movie. It's supposed to be a surprise. He's not going to tell you that Cavill's Superman is in Fury of the Gods. It's supposed to be a surprise. But his avoidance on the Superman question proves it's happening. And I'm not surprised by this. I'm more excited that he's avoided the question. I think it's game on, but it actually could be any version of Superman. Now we're heading to Flashpoint, and that will be after Flashpoint. Don't forget that. So, Superman and Lois shows greatest strength is Superman's greatest weakness. The CW makes Clark Kent's greatest weakness Superman and Lois' greatest strength, as a series as it explores his relationship with his family by Anthony Borelli of Screen Rant. The greatest strength of the CW show Superman and Lois is also Superman's greatest weakness, and it's not the use of kryptonite. Superman and Lois is a welcomed addition to the CW slate of DC properties this year, as the network will be ending Supergirl and Black Lightning at the conclusion of their seasons. This will make Superman one of the A-list characters on the CW. He's already the A-list character. He's one who's getting the most ratings. Superman's always been A-list. So it's an important show for the network. In the coming years, Superman will surely play a pivotal role on the network as the remaining foundational Arrowverse shows come to an end. Yeah, there will be no Arrowverse in the end. Basically, Superman and Lois isn't really Arrowverse. Superman and Lois is actually the fourth live-action series featuring the Man of Steel, not including those that feature related characters. This means that Superman has more live-action television series than any other comic book superhero. This is incredible given the effects-heavy nature of the character and availability of more easily adaptable characters, but he's Superman. Like Green Arrow and Batman, across the other Superman shows such as Lois and Clark, Smallville, and even the CW's latest series, there is a common theme that connects them, and it's not their spectacular special effects. Each series prioritizes Superman's personal relationships and makes them the central focus of much of the series. But this is true. Lois and Clark, it was about the relationship between Lois and Clark. Smallville was about many, many personal relationships, and that was awesome. Even the New Adventures of Superman, Superboy. Superman's had the most TV series because he is the grade A #1 DC characters. Let's be clear about that. It seems like this prioritization of personal relationships may be the secret to successfully portraying Superman on television. It's ironic that the exploitation of Superman's weakness, his humanity, is what allows him to work as a character in television. Although this isn't a surprise, since Superman's humanity is seen through his personal relationships, is what makes him relatable to audiences. After all, Superman is the most powerful person on Earth, and therefore difficult for the average human to relate to. In many ways, Superman's relationship makes him more vulnerable than kryptonite, because kryptonite is merely external, while his relationships and humanity create inner struggles. So while his family may be the source of inner struggles for the Man of Steel, it's actually the series' greatest strength, as it allows audiences to emphasize and relate to Superman. Named Superman faces the same struggles as the average husband and father, allows viewers to understand him on a personal level that isn't possible otherwise. In fact, while Superman and Lois delivers plenty of effects-driven Superman action, most of the time is spent with Clark and the family, especially with his sons Jonathan and Jordan. In each episode, audiences watch Superman confront the challenges of raising two teenage boys. The show leans heavily on Superman's relationship with his children, and this creates an interesting dynamic in which his humanity takes center stage. The result is a focus on Clark's journey to balance his work life with his family life, something with which many people have struggled. Superman may be able to save the world on a daily basis, but his twin boys present an entirely new challenge for the Man of Steel. This is the struggle at the heart of the show, as Superman is constantly being pulled between his role as Earth's savior and his role as a father and husband. Superman and Lois is not the first show to highlight Clark's humanity through personal relationships, and it definitely won't be the last. However, there is something particularly effective in showcasing his journey as a father. It's not often one considers this aspect of the character, perhaps because it's a relatively new side of Superman that hasn't been extensively explored on the cinema screen. A father's relationship with his sons is extremely personal, and Superman and Lois exquisitely captures this tender moments. Consequently, it becomes obvious that Superman recognizes his weakness as a father and is determined to be the hero and the father he needs to be. Josh, I think every DCEU director know everything about The Flash, so their movies have to connect to the aftermath of that movie, of course. They all know what's going on, and that's extremely exciting. So there's that one. Yes, the family element of, what's this about? Let's read that. Yeah, so the family element in Superman and Lois is important, but I think what we're heading to in Superman and Lois is someone taking over Clark's body, because this is what's going on, right? They're putting Kryptonian souls in human beings. This is what maybe could have happened on the other Earth where Superman turned bad. maybe Zod's inside him or something like that. And I think a few journalists have had that theory as well. So I think this could be absolutely tragic. Could Superman, in fact, kill one of his sons? It will be dark, but it will be as shock-worthy as the series has been thus far. Ronnie Dodge, what's Andy and Barbara going to drop this week, lol? Ooh, I don't know. Another costume reveal, maybe? I hope so. Drax creator comments on Dave Bautista being recast for future MCU movies. This is not going to happen, by the way. Jim Starlin, the comic book writer responsible for creating Drax, thinks Dave Bautista did a bang-up job and talks about recasting the role by T.C. Phillips of Screen Rant. Jim Starlin, the comic writer and artist responsible for creating Drax the Destroyer, has weighed in on Dave Bautista's recent statements that he's ready to move on from his Guardians of the Galaxy role. Starling's work for Marvel includes the creation of Drax, Thanos, and Gamora, as well as writing the Infinity Gauntlet arc, which served as the basis for Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Drax's first appearance was in the 1973 issue of the Invincible Iron Man 55, 41 years before James Gunn introduced him to the MCU. When Gunn first sought to cast former WWE wrestler Batista, Gunn himself has stated that he had to fight for him to win the role, and it was the most worthy fight I've ever fought. Now, as Gunn is planning to begin the filming on the final chapter in his Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy, Batista has been more than vocal about being ready to step aside from the role once the film is done, recently suggesting that at his age, the shirtless thing is getting harder and harder for me. Despite feeling that his own time as Drax is drawing to a close, Batista has also come out to suggest that he would like to see the character continue in the MCU and eventually be recast with a younger actor. Here's the problem. No one's going to touch Guardians of the Galaxy after number 3. Gunn's done with Marvel, I'm telling you. So this isn't going to happen. Now, off the back of Batista's comments, Drax creators Jim Starlin spoke with Inverse about his thoughts on Drax's MCU future, applauding Batista for doing a bang-up job with his creation. He sympathizes with the actor's desire to move on to other things. Starling is also confident that Drax's character will continue on in the MCU, even without Batista under the makeup, saying, I don't agree. I don't agree, Jim. I can understand hitting 54 and not wanting to take your shirt off anymore. Well, I'm 48 and I take my shirt off. The Marvel Universe is going to keep trucking along, and they found that they have made money on cosmic stuff. So they will more than likely are going to do more of it. There may be another Drax down the line, somebody else who hopefully has half the comedic timing of Batista. While it's disappointing that Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 is likely to be Dave Bautista's final turn in the role, it's everybody's final turn. It's done after that. What don't you understand? It most certainly will not be the last fans will see of the former WWE star. As for whether or not Drax could be played by another actor, James Gunn is not as confident as either Batista or Starling that recasting the role is a viable option. When Batista shared the news on Twitter, his friend and Guardians of the Galaxy director replied by suggesting, "You are the MCU's Drax, the Destroyer, and as far as I'm concerned, could never be replaced." Yeah, it's not going to be replaced because Gunn's done with Guardians after the third movie. Ultimately, though, replacing Batista with another actor will come down to Kevin Feige and the folks at Marvel Studios. Should that ever happen, there are several options available to them, including seeking to develop a prequel origin film with a younger actor, as per Batista's original suggestion, on possibly even introduce an alternate version of the character from the wider multiverse. Regardless, however, it's next in line to don Drax's makeup will certainly have some big shoes to fill as they attempt to play the lovable Guardians of the Galaxy character. Never going to happen. It's done after number 3. So we move on. We talk about the Flash TV show now. The Flash's Tom Cavanagh wants to return for final season as Reverse Flash. After 7 years, Tom Cavanagh is finally ready to depart the Flash, but hints he would come back for one last showdown as Barry's nemesis by T.C. Phillips of Screen Rant. Actor Tom Cavanagh, who has played Harrison Wells on the CW's The Flash for 7 years, announces he would be keen to reprise his role as the Reverse Flash whenever the show decides to wrap up for good. Over the years, Cavanagh has played multiple versions of the character, Harrison Wells beginning with Season 1 when he was secretly the Reverse Flash. Eobard Thawne in disguise. In the show's second season, the sudden appearance of Harry Wells from Earth 2 began a long-running tradition of Cavanagh portraying several multiverse versions of the same character. But let me be clear, the first Harrison Wells, who was actually Eobard Thawne, was the best version. And as great as this actor is at playing different versions to him, they've never stood up to the original version, as far as I'm concerned. More recently, the CW has announced Kavanagh's departure from the show alongside co-star Carlos Valdez, who plays Cisco Ramon. Kavanagh's exit was originally planned for season 6. However, it was postponed after production on last year's season was halted due to the global pandemic. Despite the decision from both actors to move on to other things, showrunner Eric Wallace has confirmed they are still happily keeping the door open for return appearances from both Kavanagh and Valdez. Ronnie Dodger, I think Flash should end after season 8, in my opinion. It could do, my friend, it could do. Who knows what's going to happen in the future? It's all about the multiverse strategy and what their plans are. But Arrowverse is slowly being put to bed. And I think the new DC TV universe will be interconnected with the multiverse strategy, but it will be on HBO Max, but it won't be as light and watered down as the CW's Arrowverse. Now, TV Line has provided some insight as to what form that potential return may take for Kavanagh. Will they suggest there is no final word when Kavanagh's last performance in season 7 may air? The actor himself has discussed a potential return to the role of Reverse Flash when the show wraps for its final season, Kavanagh said. I'm not saying that this is going to happen, but Arrowverse EP Greg Berlanti and I always felt that when Grant Gustin decides to depart the show, it'll be hard to imagine a scenario other than Batman comes home to Joker and Flash and Reverse Flash settle things. It'd be hard to imagine a different storyline, and that's all I'm going to say right now. So in other words, Tom Kavanagh knows. When Grant leaves, and it's interesting, he's not talking about the show wrapping. He's talking about Grant leaving the role. Now, I predicted that Impulse will replace Grant Gustin's The Flash, right? And I think they're doing this. The Flash family is going to change. I think I think the whole of the cast will probably leave, by the way. And they're going to replace them with this Impulse character and his kind of supporting characters. We'll see, but I think this is where we're heading to, rather than a destabilization and ending to the Flash TV series. May even go over on HBO Max exclusively. Anyway, while Kavanagh's potential return is still far from certain, it is good news that fans may still get to see him even after he has exited the show as a series regular. At the moment, however, there is no word on when The Flash may eventually wrap up for good, and The Flash Season 8 has already been confirmed. When that time does come, however, there is probably no better way for it to end than with one final showdown with Barry Allen's greatest nemesis. And don't forget, at one point, Eobard Thawne hero worshipped Barry Allen. Then it became bitter and twisted, and that's how they became enemies. In the meantime, fans of The Flash will still have plenty to keep them occupied, even after Kavanagh and Valdez have made their departures. Later this year, the show will introduce the character Bart Allen, aka Impulse, the future son of Barry Allen and Nora West, in the show's upcoming 150th episode. That should be interesting. The same episode will also see the return of couple's daughter, Nora West Allen, basically citing that nobody dies in the Arrowverse, and perhaps having family around will make Cisco and Wells' exits easier to swallow. No, they won't. It's very sad. Not so much with Cisco. The actor's pissed me off with some of his public statements, but in terms of Wells, what a great character he's been. So we will see what happens with the future of the Flash TV show. Right, Loki launches this Wednesday, and it's very exciting. I don't know what you're going to make of this one, but I thought it's new, so let's get it in there. Loki video confirms the MCU villain is gender fluid. An official promotional video for the upcoming Loki TV series confirms the Trickster God is considered gender fluid in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Ronnie Dodger, I'm hoping Tom could be in the Flash movie. It could be. I think they'll probably keep it to heroes rather than everyone, because then it'll be too overstuffed, but who knows? This is by Thomas Bacon of Screen Rant. A new teaser video for the upcoming Loki series on Disney Plus has officially confirmed the God of Mischief is gender fluid in the MCU. Although Loki is traditionally considered to be male in the original Norse legends, yeah, why would you let that stop you, right? The character is best described as gender fluid and bisexual. The myths tell many tales in which Loki transformed into a female form, sometimes remaining a woman for years. I think there's going to be some romance in this, and I think the romance is going to be with the guy who recruits him. And he's a very big time actor, and I forgot his name. He's the guy who does the voice for cars, isn't he? And he really had to be persuaded to do the role. I think him and Loki will have some kind of romantic entanglement. We'll see what happens there. Marvel Comics has honored this element of Norse mythology with a number of stories in which Loki transformed into a woman. In 2008's Forum, the trickster god even possessed the human body intended for Lady Sif after Ragnarok. This so-called Lady Loki has been teased in set photos for the upcoming Disney Plus TV series, with Sevilla Di Martino wearing what seemed to be a version of the Lady Loki costume. Naturally, this has resulted in intense speculation over whether Marvel Studios was about to reveal Loki as their first gender-fluid character. This has been officially confirmed in the most unlikely way, namely in a promotional spot for Loki released on Twitter. The brief video opens with what purports to be the Time Variance Authorities file on Loki, and as noted by CBR under the sex, the file reads fluid. This evidence is frankly more persuasive than any mere line of dialogue because the TVA had studied every moment of Loki's life in order to create their extensive file. POV, you just arrived at the TVA, Marvel Studios. Loki starts streaming Wednesday on Disney+. So that's the video. We're not going to play it. Marvel Studios president Kevin Feige has promised the MCU's future will be increasingly diverse, and it makes sense for the studio to use Loki as a gender-fluid character. Not only does this fit with the original Norse mythology, it is also entirely comic book accurate, and it raises some exciting possibilities for the Loki TV series. This means Loki could include different incarnations of the trickster god, ranging from Lady Loki to Kid Loki. The TVA's note seems to suggest all those possibilities should be considered on the table. Ronnie Dodge, be right back, just got to ring someone. Suzuki Gixar, Mission Impossible 7 to be delayed to late 2022 or mid-2023 due to crew testing COVID positive. I think you're adding 2 and 2 and making 600, mate. They'll be back this week. So I don't see that. Maybe you're right. Are you the one who always wants Aquaman to be delayed as well? You have this obsession with delaying movies, don't you? But that's your opinion and you're entitled to it. The interesting question, of course, is whether these different variants of Loki will collide in a multiverse adventure. The trailers for Loki have revealed the timeline has been damaged and it all centers around Loki, specifically around the variant who escaped with the Tesseract in an alternate timeline created in Avengers Endgame. This Loki is the one who has now been captured by the TVA, and he has been recruited to capture a mystery villain rewriting the MCU timeline. It's quite likely this is actually another Loki. I think so, with the TVA going by the principle, set a Loki to catch a Loki. If so, viewers could soon see different Lokis go up against one another, and Lady Loki could make her MCU debut as a villain. Suzuki Gixar, laughing emoji. So, basically, right, I don't really care if he's gender fluid or not. It's not really a big deal. It's not going to take time out of the show. Yes, they want to be representative and inclusive, and that's up to them. But for me, this doesn't change anything for me, and it's certainly not going to be a focus of mine either. And that's all our updates. So we can spend a bit of time now talking. You can talk about what you want. So you can comment, ask me questions, whatever. I'll hang around for a little bit longer because that's all the updates we have today. There's nothing really else going on. That's your headlines for today. So your main headlines are we're definitely getting at least one post-credit scene for Shazam, Fury of the Gods. I think that's a Black Adam teaser or a cameo. So I'm excited about that. David F. Sandberg avoids the Superman cameo question, which confirms to me, I already knew this, he's going to be in both Black Adam and Shazam, Fury of the Gods. So that's exciting as well. So we've got a lot to look forward to. And David F. Sandberg says, with everything he's heard and seen about the Flash movie from his colleague, Andy Muschietti, the Flash movie is his most anticipated DC movie. Snap, David, it's mine too. So the DCEU is heading to an unparalleled dimension, a tunnel that there's no coming back from. The multiverse strategy will be implemented in the Flash movie. That changes everything. It reboots everything, right? Nothing's canon. The Snyder Cut, Justice League, after Flashpoint, neither of them will be canon. This is great. Wonder Woman 84 won't be canon. Birds of Prey won't be canon. So it's all good, right? Bob Black, for me, it's the Suicide Squad. Nothing else compares. Well, yeah, obviously you're looking forward to the Suicide Squad, and I absolutely understand that. And I can't wait for you to see it. I can't wait to see the full movie, and it's exciting times. And I suppose, in a way, it's interesting with all these films now because the films that come before Flashpoint, they don't. At this moment, they're not affected by anything. But obviously, everything's affected by Barry rebooting the universe. So it's going to be interesting how all that plays out. Very interesting indeed. So we'll see what happens there. But as I say, we are going down a road there is no turning back from. So the Flash movie is the one that has to work. But it's a big year next year. Bobcat, Birds of Prey can be canon. I don't know why they'd recast Black Canary and Huntress. I love those versions of the characters. Bobcat, yeah, you're misunderstanding there. Just because Barry's rebooting the universe, it doesn't mean they're recasting those people. But they may recast those people. Personally, I only liked the Black Canary actress. I forgot her name. Journey Smollett, is it? I thought she was great and everybody loves her. She'll probably remain. They may all remain. But at the end of the day, we are rebooting this universe. So if they do want to recast people, definitely. That film, it's not just Birds of Prey, everything. It's a reboot of a franchise, right? Without saying it's over and starting completely again. Now, everything will be remembered but not forgotten, but the universe is being rebooted. So they can keep those actors. I'm not saying they're going to recast anyone. That's not the point here. The point is they're rebooting the universe. And this is so important because of the disjointment of this franchise. As I keep on saying, from Man of Steel to Wonder Woman 84, too disjointed. So we do need to start again. And if they feel elements of the Birds of Prey cast need to be recast, I'm fine. I'm quite fine with the other women being cast. Journey Smollett, I think, may remain. She's a Warner Brothers girl now. She's pretty much got a first look deal as well. So Birds of Prey won't be canon. Everything's being rebooted. But it doesn't mean they're recasting anyone, by the way. But why should the film that's made the least money in the DCEU stay canon while everything is decanonized? It doesn't make sense, does it? But yeah, definitely. I'm excited. I'm excited for the reboot of the universe. I'm excited for the Suicide Squad. All these 5 movies are exciting and fascinating. And I suggested Flashpoint had to happen a few years back anyway, because it has to happen. It's just too much of a disjointed franchise. Even if you've got one film that you stand, as a franchise, it doesn't work. They need to start from scratch. And this is the best way forward, and I'm really excited about that. I love Man of Steel, but I'm quite happy for us to do this reboot. Bobcat, well, most of the people who have seen Birds of Prey liked it. Well, that's not true, Bobcat, my friend. That's not true. A lot of people have seen Birds of Prey and don't like it. So, yeah, some people like it. Listen, some people like it. Some people don't like it. You don't like Batman versus Superman. Some people don't like it. Some people like it. But the whole universe is being rebooted, including your Birds of Prey. Nothing will be forgotten. But the Earth, the universe is being rebooted, and we're going towards this multiverse strategy. That is happening. Personal perspectives are irrelevant, obviously, to the studio, because they know this is a disjointed franchise, right? When you make a film like Birds of Prey and you venomously go after agenda, at the end of the day, for me personally, wasn't a satisfactory film. I prefer the Harley Quinn from David Ayer's Suicide Squad. I thought that was a much better version. She's still Harley Quinn. I love the opening, by the way, when she's talking about her childhood. That's pretty awesome as well. That actually is awesome, right? But of course, it was about her dad, who's a man who's bad, blah, 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 boring. But I love the animation, the animated Harley. That was a lot of fun. Listen, the film was okay, but it's problematic, and the film didn't make much money. We can't talk about one element of the DCEU while leaving the stuff that we may like alone. I even put Man of Steel and BVS in all of the films in this. And not to me, it's not, in continuity, in canonical terms, it is the same Harley, but she doesn't feel like the same Harley from Suicide Squad. Bobcat, it's one of my favourite DCEU movies. That's great, Bobcat, but the universe is being rebooted, and including that film. So it's good. You've got the film. You can enjoy that film whenever you want. that this universe is being rebooted and they're starting from scratch because they have to. This is not just because of Birds of Prey. This is because all of the films don't connect enough as a franchise. They're too disjointed. How can you not reboot a franchise that's got Justice League in it, right? It has to happen. It has to happen. They had no choice. They need to start from scratch and try and reach a broader audience. In business sense, it's right. And what about all those poor DC fans who have been ignored during the Snyderverse and the other DCEU movies? It's not right. There is a potential to make nearly $1 billion a picture, and they have to do this. This is the right decision. But you've got that film, Bobcat, forever, and that's great. I have got Man of Steel and BVS and Wonder Woman. Bobcat, now that I think about it, they probably should have just put Pattinson in and kept everything else the same. I mean, it might be too confusing to people who aren't DC fans. And not really, because I feel people, because basically all you're going to have to do, Bobcat, is watch The Flash. Then you'll understand. Oh, I'm going back to save my mum. Oh dear, it's all fucked up. Oh shit, Batman, I need you to hit me with lightning. Oh, I burned. Try again. Are you crazy? Oh, I've got my Flash powers. Right, I help with this weird universe, and then I go back to reset everything so I can go back to my own Earth. Oh my God, I've gone back to my own Earth. Everything's been reset. I've rebooted the universe. He pretty much tells the audience that it's a reset. There is absolutely no confusion. So if you just put Pattinson in the main DCEU, it doesn't solve the other problems. It doesn't solve the problem of Justice League. They're embarrassed by that movie. Of course they don't admit it, but they are. This is why they're resetting everything. Because as a canonical franchise, it simply doesn't work. They have no choice but to start again. And personally, I'm not saying this is what everyone should think. I'm just saying personally, I'm excited by this decision. I think it's the only thing they could do. Just throwing Pattinson in there doesn't change anything. It just means you've still got some films that it just doesn't work. It doesn't work, right? By doing this, they can basically erase their mistakes, right? And it's not their mistakes. This new leadership had nothing to do with this. But I mean, besides Wonder Woman 84, everything after Justice League has been great, and Wonder Woman as well. Yeah, I suppose it's all about opinions, Bobcat, what you like and what you don't like. But at the end of the day, right, this is the situation they've got. They've got basically the Snyderverse is Man of Steel, Batman versus Superman, Suicide Squad, and the first Wonder Woman, right? And Zack Snyder's Justice League Snyder Cut. They want to remove that. They want to remove it. They want to start again, to start their own, inclusive shared universe with interconnected characters where they make everyone in the multiverse canon. That's what they're attempting to do. And this is their vision, and this is what they want to do. So even though there's a lot of really good films that are much better than what's in the MCU, I admit that as a franchise, it just doesn't work. So this is why they're doing this. So they're redoing this to reach a broader audience. So you can't just keep it as it is and say, well, these movies are good. As we can see, there's a divisive disdain and opinions on that. It's just a stained franchise. It's been a stained franchise from day one. Bad reaction to Man of Steel, bad reaction to Batman versus Superman, bad reaction to Suicide Squad, bad reaction to Justice League, an absolutely embarrassment of a film. And it goes on. Wonder Woman 84, problematic, if not terrible. People have strong opinions about Birds of Prey. Some love it, some hate it. So it's for the best, because what they need to do as a business, and if you're going to do this as a business one day, and I don't think you're interested, but if you were, you need to please your customers. You need the broader customer. You need the mainstream audience. You can bring other people along for the ride, of course, but your mainstream consumer is so important. It's like Coca-Cola have the mainstream consumer. Tesco's Cola does not. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, you need a broader audience. You need a mainstream audience. So Ann Sarnoff and Walter Hamada and the Warner Brothers leadership are absolutely spot on. I want the best DC universe possible. I want it to make the most money. I want it to be the best franchise in history. And if we can fix this without bashing it all down and basically recasting everyone and starting from scratch, I think this is a good idea and it's worth a try. But if we could actually go back in time, personally as a leader, if as Snyder was already there, I would allow him to finish off his arc, do his flashpoint like he was going to do, and then bring another creative in. That's what they should have done. But they got nervous, they got scared, all hell broke loose. There was a civil war between director and studio, and now they're going down this direction, which I agree with. Bobcat, unpopular opinion. Birds of Prey is better than Zack Snyder's Justice League. Yeah, that is an unpopular opinion, mate, especially with me. But that's your opinion. That's up to you. But even Snyder haters probably wouldn't even agree with that. But, you know, that's your take, and you're welcome to it. You're a favourite of the channel. You're very supportive, and I respect you. But I couldn't disagree fucking less. But I love and respect you, so that's cool, right? I would never, ever. I mean, Zack Snyder's Justice League is a beautifully shot film. The music's beautiful. It's epic. It's gone with the wind of superheroes, right? It's fantastic. So I really like it. It's one of my favorite comic book movies. It's fantastic. So, yeah, but you're entitled to your opinion, of course. So we need to do this multiverse strategy. It is important. It needs to be rebooted. We need to make films that appeals to most people. Bobcat, it was a one-time watch for me. Yeah, that's great. For you, you're just one person. Look at the units it sold. Look at how well it did on HBO Max. I mean, there are reports coming out now that it's been the most watched piece of content in HBO Max history, which has been hidden by the studio. So it's a very successful piece of work. Even the Snyder haters like it. That's interesting, isn't it? I'm always going to be broad and balanced with my conversations, Bobcat. I think that's important because I love DC so much. Ronnie Dodge, I like Zack's Justice League, but the first Wonder Woman is better. You know what? I love both movies. I mean, Wonder Woman, Ronnie, is a special movie. And, you know, the writer of that film did a great job. The music is beautiful. I'm surprised. I'm sad that they've moved away from that musician. Because he writes a great score. He did the first. I hope he does the second Aquaman, because I don't want the guy doing Shazam and Flash. Actually, I would have preferred Flash be done by the guy who done Aquaman and Wonder Woman, but I guess he's busy. Partha Safi, I want Black Adam movie to be dark. Where are we? Oh, why did you do that, Partha Safi? I was reading that. Ronnie Dodge, I'm back anyway. It's good to have you back, Bobcat. I just don't care for Snyder's style. Yeah, absolutely. That's your that you're not alone in that, Bobcat, are you? Many people don't like Snyder's style. It's unique, it's different, and it hits different. But that's the very point. That's the very point, isn't it, Bobcat? This is why they're doing the multiverse strategy, because they know that his style is divisive. So by rebooting the universe like Barry's going to do, it moves everything out. And they start again. But those 10 movies are still part of the journey, but the universe is being rebooted. So, yes, you're not alone in that. I love his style. I love his style, the way his movies look. And I actually enjoy his movies. I think his movies are epic. And it's a shame he couldn't at least have finished his arc. But unfortunately, there's two sides to every argument. And he's played a part as well as the studio. There are no innocent parties here, by the way. And I know people enjoy taking positions in this debate, but there's no positions. They're both as bad as each other. But the studio has a responsibility to reach a broad audience in terms of one of the biggest IPs in the history of comics, right? Bobcat, it's like, okay, there are like 100,000 people that are pro-Snyder. Where were they for Man of Steel and BVS? Yes, they were very quiet. They were very quiet, and then they came out after the fight. Well, I think people were intimidated, Bobcat, as well. The hate was so furious that people didn't have the confidence to come out. But when they did what they did with Justice League, I think people had enough and came out. But you make a good point. Where was everyone during that time? We could have done with them, by the way. Or, you know, people who appreciated Snyder's work could have done with them. But he's a divisive director. He enjoys being a divisive director. He loves people talking about his movies, whether it's positive or negative. That's what Snyder is. Bobcat, it was pretty bad to be fair. People just love drama. Partha Safi, I want Black Adam movie to be dark, but I'm worried it would be light and funny seeing Rock's recent movies like Jumanji, Hobbs and Shaw, Jungle Cruise, etc. Well, The Rock doesn't actually control everything. You know, Walter Hamada's in charge of this whole thing. But I'm going to say to you, Partha Safi, what I say to everyone who has concerns about comedies in films. E.T. is a great movie. It has tenderness, drama, and emotion, and it's funny. Back to the Future has warmth, tenderness, and emotion, and drama, and comedy. Indiana Jones, it has drama, emotion, tense subjects, and comedy. You can do everything, right? Now, I understand some Snyderverse fans don't understand, and I'm not saying you are, but you can have a bit of everything. It can be molded well. It's been done since the creation of the art of filmmaking. It's not rocket science, is it? So Black Adam will have darkness to it, but it also will have gags. And quite right too. It doesn't have to be just one size fits all. We're not in Adolf Hitler's Germany where it's one way and it's either one way or no way. We're not in that kind of world anymore. Bobcat, a lot of people who saw Birds of Prey did like it though. I recommend it to people. They act like I'm crazy. Watch it. And I'm like, okay, I see why you recommend this. No, it was pretty good. Basically, some people like it, Bobcat, and some people hate it. I think it's an okay, solid movie, but its messaging is disgusting and despicable. And that's my opinion on the film. And a lot of people hold my opinion on that film as well as your opinion on the film. So the film didn't make much money. That's where the proof is as well. Partha Safi agreed. Indiana Jones was a good example. Exactly, right? When people used to make films, they didn't say, I want 100% artistic integrity and freedom. Not even Scorsese gets that, by the way, right? A studio needs to sell its movie, right? So you can do all the good stuff, but you want to entertain people, right? That's the idea. Ronnie Dodge, Ghostbusters has humour, nothing wrong with that, but it also has light and touching moments as well. Exactly. Bobcat, if you look at past commentary, it's a pretty good movie. Bobcat, I like it's also branding. Bobcat, I feel like it's also a branding problem. Yeah, a lot of people use the excuse because basically people didn't know Harley was in it. Everyone knew damn well Harley Quinn was in that movie. Everyone. That's not an excuse, right? The reason people boycotted it because people didn't want, a lot of people actually didn't want Harley Quinn in that film. They wanted a Birds of Prey movie because, in fact, Birds of Prey are as popular, maybe more popular, with a lot of DC fans than Harley Quinn. They didn't want Harley Quinn gate crashing that party. There was a lot of talk about that before the film was even released. Ronnie Dodge, I'm seeing Cruella again today. Awesome. Cruella 2, Cruella directed by a man. Men can direct women. Maybe men can direct women better than women, eh? Kathy Yan couldn't direct a woman if her life depended on it. Needed the John Wick director to do action, Bobcat. What you got to say about that then? Why did she, if she's such a good director, she made such a great film, hey, I'm a woman, I'm independent, but I can't make action. I can't make a car crash. John Wick director, help me. We need a man. It's the truth. It's the truth. Kathy Yan refused to put the Birds of Prey in their comic books costumes. What you got to say about that? Bobcat, I'd have to say at least 65% of the people liked Birds of Prey. No. It's half and half. Maybe even less than that. No. Sorry. Where's the box office? Where's the box office? Why didn't it make much money? If that's true, it would have made more money, surely. At the end of the day, you like it. I think it's solid, nothing special. I don't like the messaging. And that's where it is, where, you liked it. I have my opinions on it. I thought it could have been a much better film. I think we could have had a much better Harley meets the Birds of Prey. And for me personally, I was underwhelmed by it. I hated the scene at the end in the cafe. It was very underwhelming, just like the whole film. And basically, it was men are bad. Men take credit for women's work. That was the whole central piece of the film. No, thank you. That's my personal opinion. Bobcat never said she was a good director. They used multiple people and it turned out good. Also, is an origin movie. They had costumes at the end. Yeah, yeah. I saw the costumes. I saw the costumes. You like it. I have my opinions on it. That's the end of it, really, Bobcat. Because nobody believed it was good until they watched it. Most people didn't want to go to the theatre to see it. It's a DC movie, Bobcat. It's a DC movie. Normally, people go and support DC movies, right? Why didn't people go? There were deeper issues going on, Bobcat. I don't personally think it's a great movie. But then again, Bobcat, you're a young man who's been bred on mediocrity. So when you're bred on mediocrity, you'll take any old mediocrity. You've already said it. Harley's in the film. I'm going to embrace it. That's your attitude. That's not my attitude to films. Ronnie Dodge, I like Birds of Prey. It's a great movie, but sometimes things shouldn't be made, but I respect your opinion, Bobcat. Well, it's interesting that you say it's a great movie. And again, that I respect you, Ronnie, for saying it's a great movie. And that's good that you think it's a great movie. I think it's a mediocre, average, ordinary movie at best. And I'd rather have my middle toe amputated than have to watch that multiple times. When you go down this political direct, Bobcat, thanks, Ronnie Dodge. Bobcat, I watch it once a month. So, by the way, anyway, the DCEU is being rebooted by Barry Allen. There's nothing to be done with it. Everything is reset, and I think it's a great idea, and I think it's brilliant, and it's the only way forward. It's for the best. And no one will ever convince me of anything else. This has to happen. This is the only way forward. There's been too many mistakes made. This is one of the biggest IPs in the history, right, of studio ownership. And basically, most of the movies should be making $1 billion. They should be successful. It isn't that hard to make this an interconnected movie, an interconnected franchise. I don't want standalone films. I want an interconnected franchise. You can have DC Dark, you can have other labels, and they can be on their own. That's fine. But we need things connected. And you don't trigger people, and you make good movies, and you entertain people, and you keep your stunted far left politics out of films. Ronnie Dodge, I'm going to flat out say this. I enjoy Wonder Woman 1984. I watch it a lot. Sorry. Well, that's up to you, isn't it? Again, you're a big Wonder Woman fan, so you'll take anything. But if you like that film, that's great. You don't have to apologize to me for liking something that I don't, and I think it's problematic. But again, all these films are being rebooted. They won't matter anymore. It's irrelevant. So you can watch those films however many times a day you want. But you are going to have to accept that this franchise is being rebooted because of movies like Wonder Woman 84, Birds of Prey, and because they want to remove the Snyderverse out of it to appeal to a broader audience, because they're business people and they need to make money. They're not a charity. Ronnie Dodge, yeah, the movie has problems, but I tried to see the good in it. Yeah, the good in it's probably the final act. But listen, DC is a huge property, and you shouldn't be doing that to DC movies. It's as simple as that. DC deserves better. These DC characters deserve better. And hopefully, this rebooted universe, we can start to get away from the negativity and actually enjoy our DC and actually make it a place for all DC fans, for all of the audience, so people aren't excluded like they have been in these first 10 movies of this franchise. Very important, very. This deserves to be on a platform where anyone can come in and watch it. No, I don't want to hear this is for adults, like Snyder said, right? We're not here for kids' movies. DC should appeal to adults and children at the same time, Zack Snyder. And again, I'll tell you, Zack Snyder, when you said nobody talks about Aquaman, they do, but they just don't hate on the film because they love it. Comic book stans love it, right? And that's the kind of future we're moving towards, Zack. And that's the problem with you. As much as I love you and I love your DC movies, you're problematic, and other people that you've brought in are problematic too. Patty Jenkins. Bobcat, Black Canary, Harley Quinn, Huntress, Black Mask, Harley on Skates, Bruce the Hyena, Harley the Antihero, No Leto, Mallet Action, amazing soundtrack, amazing costumes, The Birds of Prey, etc. That's your opinion. Good. I'm glad you like it, Bobcat. They're still rebooting the universe, though. All good films, all good things the film did. They were all right, Bobcat. They didn't really touch me. I mean, if you're a fan of that stuff, I suppose it's good. But the entirety of the DC universe didn't embrace that movie for a reason. So it's good that you like the movie. It's brilliant. I think it's awesome. But we are rebooting this franchise, and Birds of Prey is part of that reboot. And I'm very, very happy that I am gloriously excited that we're heading to something more exciting than we got. I think Snyder's movies are exciting. They're epic. They're gladiatorial. They're amazing. And what a shame he couldn't finish that arc off, but he couldn't. He wasn't appealing to a broader audience. He has to go, and so are his movies, and we can enjoy them without it being a part of anything. Ronnie Dodge, Snyder, if you're watching DC movies, are for everyone, not for your massive ego, and don't film stuff without the studio consent. Absolutely, I agree with that 100%, Ronnie. So we're moving forward now. This franchise is getting rebooted, and there's nothing that can be done about it. Bobcat, not everyone is ever going to all support a film, though. Plus, it has more of a fan base than other DCU films. Okay. I don't think it's got more of a fan base than Man of Steel. I don't think it's got more of a fan base than BVS. I don't think it's got more of a fan base than the third Suicide Squad, a superior version to Harley Quinn. I don't think it's got more of a fan base than Wonder Woman. I don't think it's got more of a fan base than Zack Snyder's Justice League. I don't think it's got more of a fan base than Shazam or Aquaman. That's just my opinion, Bobcat. But you like the movie, and others you know love the movie, and that's a good thing. That's a pure thing. We can't rewrite history, though. Partha Safi, thoughts on Peacemaker show being greenlit when Suicide Squad is not even out. I think that's a fantastic confidence in James Gunn, isn't it, Partha? I think that's great news, and I'm so excited that it's going to connect to the rest of the DCEU, as James Gunn's already said. James Gunn's a brilliant creative, a lot of time for him, and it's great news for me. Ronnie, Bobcat, it does have more than BVS or MS. It has a cult-like following. So does BVS. Just a huge one. Ronnie Dodge, bye-bye Snyderverse, ha ha ha, evil laughter. Yeah, everything, not just the Snyderverse, it's all going. The whole thing's being rebooted. That's the good thing. Not because nobody has a right to enjoy what they enjoy. You have, and you've got them. You can watch them. But they will always be remembered in the universe, right? They'll always be remembered, but we're rebooting this universe, right? Deletion. That's why Birds of Prey was allowed and Wonder Woman 84 was allowed. Do what you want, girls. Make what you want. We're rebooting the universe anyway, so it's irrelevant. Bobcat, plus our fan base doesn't send death threats. See you, Snyder. Bobcat, well, not everything. Some things will still be canon. Nothing will be canon. Nothing will be canon. Bobcat, nothing will be canon. For example, I doubt that the Snyderverse will be canon. It'll be interesting, though. It'll be interesting. I would think it would be a cold day in hell that anything in Kathy Yan's Birds of Prey will be canon to the new DC live-action universe, but we'll see, because that movie is part of the problem. So, that's the best thing about this. We're starting from scratch. Bobcat, that doesn't make any sense for nothing to be canon. Why? If you're rebooting the universe, what do you think that means? Listen, maybe a few things will be canon, but not the film that you stand. That's for sure. Bobcat, then nothing fits. Yes, it does. The new multiverse strategy fits. Everything that's put together in the Flash movie will be canon. So basically, the Tim Burton stuff, the Christopher Reeve stuff, the TV shows, they're all going to be canon, right? But they're actually rebooting the franchise that started it off. And neither will the Snyderverse. That's right. That's what I said. If you were listening, Bobcat, that's what I said. Everything is being rebooted, right? That's what I said. Ronnie Dodge, maybe Walter Hamada looked for a new Cyborg. Ray isn't going to stop being an idiot, so why not? Yeah, I don't think, listen, I don't think Cyborg's that important anyway, but of course they'll bring in a new Cyborg. Could be the Doom Patrol one. Who knows? But yeah, for me, it's pretty irrelevant at this point. Let's reset the universe and start from scratch. We're rebooting the DCEU and bringing the rest of the DC family into this. So other universes, other versions of live action we've seen, it's all going to be canon now. And that's really exciting. So yes, Bobcat, everything's being rebooted, including the Snyderverse. Everything, right? Everything. Because I can put my bias to one side and allow this to happen for the good of DC. And that's what's going to happen. That's what's going to happen. By the end of the Flash movie, you'll see. You'll see what's going to happen. This is not a charity. This is not something where they can say, "Oh, well, keep that," you know, because this person likes it. No, there's no emotion here. We need to have $1 billion, movie, a franchise that can bring in at least $1 billion per movie. Maybe not with some movie. Bobcat, nobody knows what's going to happen. I do. If you listen, Bobcat, if you listen, you know. If you pay attention. Why do you think he's hinted that he's killing most of the characters? Think about it. That's the thing. Those characters will still exist, but it's a rebooted universe, so things will be a bit car. Ronnie Dodge, I don't know why I feel like Harley and Rick Flag are going to be a thing in the Suicide Squad. If it does happen, I will be so happy. I think if it does happen, it will be the best thing ever. That's all I'm going to say. I will be so happy by that. Bobcat, they will at Ronnie Dodge. That would make me happy. That's good. Because I love Rick and I love Harley, and I think Harley needs a character like that. Ronnie Dodge, DC fandom, we will find out everything in October. Well, of course, they're not going to spoil the films, Ronnie. Don't forget that. They're not going to tell you A, B, and C. But yeah, you're going to find out a lot more things, but they're not just going to spill everything, of course. There'll be trailers, there'll be hints, there'll be leaks, there'll be fun, of course. But don't think you're going to find out the entire multiverse strategy in one fandom. But obviously, Christmas doesn't matter. Does anything matter? So the Suicide doesn't matter. Well, if you watch a standalone movie, that's over once you see it. It's not part of a franchise. Doesn't it matter? It matters to you, right? So everyone will be part of this franchise, but you're going to have a reboot. You're going to have a reboot. And at first, people will forget everything. But slowly, they'll get total recall of what's happened in the past. That's the kind of thing. So it's not necessarily that it doesn't matter and that it will be forgotten forever. But we're kind of starting from scratch. So it's an interesting premise. But also, Bobcat, what they can do is, with a rebooted universe, they can delete castings that they didn't like. They can delete versions they didn't like. And where do you think they're going with that? Christmas doesn't matter. Bobcat, so why is it Aquaman 2 then? Shouldn't it be Aquaman and Shazam? Well, it's not actually called Aquaman 2, is it? Shazam 2 isn't called Shazam 2, is it? Ronnie Dodge, I mean, we will find out more about more of the multiverse fandom. Yeah, of course. Marcus Walker, see you, Birds of Prey. Listen, I have my opinions. I'm an opinionated son of a bitch. If you're going to watch me, you're going to see my opinions. I ain't going to bend for anyone. I like everyone who comes in. I think you're great. Ronnie Dodge, yeah, Rick could bring out the best side of Harley, in my opinion. Yeah, it will be interesting for sure. I would like that. Obviously, I don't want to say anything about that and what could happen because of that. It could be a tragic situation for Harley, but I'm not saying that's what's going to happen, but that potentially could happen. Obviously, I haven't seen the whole movie. There's things I just don't know, but potentially that could happen. For example, I don't know this. Bobcat might not work. Oh, it's going to work. It's going to work. It's going to work, Bobcat. It has to work. It has to work. Once they go, when they do it, it's done. So they've got to offer people something better than they've already had, right? I mean, Jesus Christ, Blue Beetle could cameo in the Flash movie as well. This is exciting for many DC fans. DC comic book stands that I've been talking about haven't been this happy and excited about live action DC for years. What it is now, the studio finally get it, and that's important. There's no messing about anymore. This has to work. And I hope that it does. Because I will put my biases to one side to get this up and running and make this a popular franchise. It's so important that this is the glory of a franchise, that everyone talks nicely about it, and then we can have some positivity back. Bobcat, it doesn't have to work. They can fail. I just think they might screw it up. Justice League was a big event, but look at that. Not the same people working on Justice League, Bobcat. It's different leaderships now. Walter Hamada had nothing to do with that. And Sarnoff had nothing to do with that. This is a brand new team. J.J. Abrams had nothing to do with that. Bobcat, time will tell. Fingers crossed it works. Ronnie Dodge. The Flash is the movie I'm pumped for. I mean, who's not excited for Keaton's arrival in the DCEU? Oh, believe you me, Bobcat, there's arseholes out there who would love this film to fail. Believe you me. But you're not going to get your wish. This is going to be a success. And what the new era of the DCEU will begin, where we make entertainment for entertainment's sake. I'm excited for Keaton, but it's not just for Keaton for me. It's the reset. It's the reset. It's everything that they're doing. And it's about time to a brand new Supergirl. Superman cameoing. Seeing the Justice League in this movie as well. Look, even David F. Sandberg has spoken about knowing stuff about it, and I'm interested, and I think this is intense, and I think this is great. Sometimes you have to pull the pin. Snyder was the wrong person to bring in because he doesn't care about reaching a broader audience. And as a business, that's the whole point. Bobcat, if this is dumb, I'll take my Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey and Suicide Squad and let it be. Fair enough. Look, once the Flash happens, there will be certain people who won't like it. Simple as that. And now, as usual, there'll be people who love this. It's interesting. There's no question. People are going to be triggered after Flash, I can assure you of that. Especially something they love being taken away. Something tells me we won't find out what things have been taken away and what things remain until we get into the next movies. But it'd be interesting. But this is a massive change for the franchise, a massive change. And I believe it's the best move forward because the franchise is just not consistent. Ronnie Dodge, if David F. Sandberg says the stuff he has seen and heard of The Flash, it will be one of the best CBM of next year. Mark my words. I think so. Well, listen, I haven't seen these movies, but I'm excited for these movies. You know, 5 DC movies in development at the same time has been unheard of. A proper slate. It's exciting. Let's judge them on the merits we see them and put bias to one side, and let's see what we're going to get. Bobcat, Marvel is doing it too. I just hope Marvel doesn't do it better, which they might considering our track record. Well, Marvel are not resetting the universe. Don't forget that. This is not a reset for Marvel. Marvel don't need to reboot the universe. Marvel are basically saying, in low-key, we're traveling the multiverse and we're changing a few things. Marvel are saying, well, let's bring in, a couple of old Spider-Men. People love them. That'll be fun, but it's not a massive change. It's just exploring the multiverse. It's a multiverse faceted strategy rather than what DC are doing when they're saying the whole of the multiverse now will be canon and we're resetting our own universe to fix the problems of this franchise. So what DC are doing is much more ambitious, and can I predict if it's going to work or not? No, but for them, it has to, because if it doesn't work, it's curtains. They literally would either have to go back to Snyder or start from scratch with someone who actually knows what they're fucking doing. Ronnie Dodge, Barry's new suit looks sick in that concept art. I can't wait to see it soon. Neither can I. I think that's going to break the internet, Ronnie, definitely. So I'm excited, and I'm all for what they're trying to do. They have no choice but to do this. But I don't know why when I think about this, it sounds like a bad idea to erase everything. It's a multiverse, then why are we resetting? Well, the multiverse is being embraced as an interconnected universe, including the DCEU. So they're resetting things so they can pick and choose what they keep. So they will not keep anything that didn't work for them financially or what people didn't like. That will be booted out, like the Snyderverse, right? And then the whole of the multiverse will be canon. We will have a multiverse Justice League, right, which is very exciting. So I think that's what they're attempting to do. This is a good way of having different versions of different characters so they can be more representative of the minorities as well. So that's the thing. There's many reasons why they're doing this, Bobcat. Bobcat, in the end of in that case, then Birds of Prey will always be canon on some Earth. Yeah, but some Earth that we can't see, basically, I suppose. Somewhere out there, yeah, maybe. But I don't have to watch it, and I don't have to deal with it. Ronnie Dodge, is there any point being called the DCEU after The Flash? It should be the DC... yeah, I'm sure there may... Well, listen, the DCEU has stuck. It's the DC Extended Universe. So in a way, that makes sense. So there's no really need to change it. And I think that... Well, Walter Hamada has been planning this since he first came in. And at first, he wanted to change the name of the franchise to the Worlds of DC. But it didn't stick, which is a shame. So the DCEU has stuck. Bobcat, can we have that Earth? Lo, it's a nice Earth. Yeah, I'll book you a private jet there. Ronnie Dodge, the main Earth will be Ezra, Gal, Jason. Well, it's going to be more than that. We're going to meet other characters we haven't met from the main Earth, like the two Green Lanterns, Hal Jordan and John Stewart. I've already said that John Stewart will be involved in the Flash movie. You haven't heard that yet, but it's going to happen. This is why Zack's John Stewart wasn't allowed. This was the whole point. It wasn't racism. It was not racism. You know, basically, Ray Fisher went to the streets, get some guy to play John Stewart, you know, and the studio were pissed off about that. And they shot him on Zack's drive. It's ridiculous. But for me, the core piece of resetting this universe is absolutely right and proper. Bobcat, I mean, the Harley Quinn projects will be fun, though. Yes, because this is the thing, isn't it, Bobcat? Because now we've got James Gunn running them. There's a big difference now. He knows those fucking comics in and out. So him running Harley Quinn and Suicide Squad in the future is brilliant news because he's a fan of them and he gets them. Is David Ayer a Suicide Squad fan? Of course he fucking isn't. Of course, he's a great filmmaker, by the way, but is he a Suicide Squad fan? No, but Gunn is. And he will bring out the best in this franchise. So it's for the effing best. And believe you me, if he wasn't happy about this multiverse strategy, he wouldn't be involved. Bobcat, listen, if it sucks, I'll still watch the Harley and the Suicide Squad stuff. Ronnie Dodge, Henry, Green Lantern, Sasha will probably be part of the Earth after Flash. I would think so. I don't want to I don't want to be certain about it because I think this is what the thing is with what they're doing. Everything's up in the air. We don't really know who's going to end up where. And this is part of what really excites me. I don't really want to know everything. I think theorizing, like we used to do when we used to watch Lost, is great. Having many options is exciting. One of the most exciting moments after the fandom, what was it called? Oh shit. Bobcat, the superior universe will always be the comics. Absolutely, Bobcat. The Force Awakens. After The Force Awakens, everyone was calling me with their little theories, and it was exciting. Nobody knows what's happening with this multiverse strategy, and that's so awesome. We don't know who's going to end up. They do this properly. It's exciting, and as I say, has been planning this from the first day he started at DC to try and fix what went wrong. When I'm talking about what went wrong, I'm not talking about individual films. I'm talking about, as a franchise, the DC Extended Universe is a fucking mess. It's as simple as that. And I used to be in denial about that, but it's a fact. As a business, as a franchise, it simply doesn't work. Ronnie Dodge, can you imagine a scene with Keaton's Batman and Henry's Superman? That may be asking a little bit too much, but yes, please, a relationship between those two. But even more exciting, Nicolas Cage's Superman and Michael Keaton's Batman. That would be even more awesome for me because they were meant to be together from the beginning. They're from the same earth. So please, inject it all in my veins. Like I got that vaccine injected the other day, inject it all in my veins. I can focus on my miniverse as well, which I'm excited about, which is awesome, yeah. I'm one of the few men who can multitask. I focus on so many different things. I'm writing a script, thinking about what I'm going to talk about in my next stream, creating characters, thinking about raps, thinking about what I'm going to say on TikTok. By the way, I've been banned from TikTok till tomorrow. Do you know why? Because I smoked a cigarette and said, I like breaking the rules of society. So they assumed I was smoking a spliff. And now I'm on another TikTok. I've had to start another TikTok account till tomorrow. And it's really tipped my mind out. It's really messed me up today. I didn't even do anything wrong, man. What's wrong with smoking a cigarette and saying I want to break societal rules? Get over it, man. I'm a fucking rebel. Ronnie George, like I said yesterday, got to see the mess of the current DCEU before the Flash changes everything. Listen, I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know how this thing is set up at the beginning, but I assume the Justice League will be there. They'll fight, and then Barry decides to do something and change the past. And then I think that's the kind of the road we're going along. Some things will be copy and pasted from the original Flashpoint comic book. Some won't be. Apparently, the Atlantean Amazonian War, regrettably, won't be. And I think that's also, I actually like that part of Flashpoint. And I think it's a shame they've chickened out of that. Bobcat, I'm very defensive of Birds of Prey, and I always will defend it while sitting under my Birds of Prey poster lol. Well, do you know what, Bobcat? We're all defensive about things we love, but the thing is, we all love different things, and that's why it's fair that we create a universe that's fair to everyone and not just one or two people. So you can't do a multiverse strategy and say, well, Bobcat likes the Birds of Prey, so we'll leave that alone. You can't do that. So I love the Snyderverse, but that is part of the reboot as well, right? But I've still got the films, right? And as Zach always said, it's an Elseworld, so it's fine. I can enjoy those films. It's cool. But this has to happen. It's fair towards the company and the consumer. And for consumers who haven't embraced this franchise yet, this is the right way to go. It's important. There's people who are defensive about Arrowverse, but just because we care about one thing and don't care about the other, it doesn't mean we should get our own way. Bobcat, one thing we can agree on, Family Guy is awesome. Oh, yes, I love Family Guy. I probably prefer The Simpsons, but Family Guy is awesome. When Family Guy was first on, I hated it. I just thought it was a rip-off of The Simpsons, but then I got into it and I loved it. Ronnie Dodger, I'm sticking to this. The movie will open up with the League stopping a crime, maybe Reverse Flash. Bobcat, all right, Mickey, it's 4:45 a.m. for me. Better get to bed. Great stream, Mickey. Thank you very much, Bobcat, and I'll maybe see you tonight. Bobcat, leave a like, everyone. Thank you, Bobcat. Thank you very much for your support. It was very nice of you. It looks like Bobcat's already gone. Ronnie George, see you later, Bobcat, mate. Bobcat, night chat, night, Mickey. Good night, Bobcat. Good night, Mary Ellen. Good night, John Boy. So that was an interesting little debate with Bobcat. I could see he was getting a little bit heated, wasn't he? But hey, see you, Ronnie Dodge. He's still here. But yeah, at the end of the day, all I can say is that this reboot is happening and nothing that anyone says or does can change that, whether it's Snyderverse fans, whether it's Birds of Prey fans. It is happening. This is not something I can change or you can change. They know. Bobcat's still here, lol. Awesome. But at the end of the day, this is happening, you know, and whether people say it's confusing or this or that, they will make it as simplistic as possible. That's what they will do. They understand that. They know they can't go confusing everyone. Ronnie Dodge, I would love if we got a DCEU version of Killer Frost. She's an awesome character who Arrowverse have absolutely messed up with. You know, Killer Frost and the Flash actually have this really, you know, brilliant relationship that's more compelling than the one with Iris, and they've chickened out of it, and that's tragic. So, yeah, Killer Frost definitely deserves the DCEU treatment. Bobcat, I will always get heated for Harley, and I will always get heated for the whole of DC, because for me, the whole of DC is important, not just one place and one character. And for all those fans who haven't been represented, they deserve a franchise that represents a bit of everything. And this is what's going to happen. All right, good night for real this time, everyone. Good night, Bobcat. So we see what the problem is. People only care about what they care about, but they don't care about the whole franchise. Well, I do. I want the franchise to be structured properly. I don't want to say, well, as long as my character's all right and I like my films. No way. This franchise has to be there for everyone. That's the whole point. What's good. It's not, oh, I'm all right, Jack. Everything else. No way. No way. Oh, can you reboot everything apart from the thing that I like? No. It all has to go. It all has to go. It's a disjointed franchise, right? The films are good. I like most of the films. They're pretty cool. But as a franchise, it doesn't work. And it needs restructuring. They need starting again. They're going to start again, which is the right thing. So the rebooting of the universe by Barry and Flashpoint is a good thing. It can only bring good things to this franchise if they execute it right. And I have a feeling they will. Because it looks like it's not just one person running this thing. It's a multitude of people who have different ideas. And I think that's how healthy things can happen. It's like in a writer's room. It's more healthy for the TV show because you see all these ideas. And I think that's great. Ronnie Dodger, I want to see other characters that haven't had the chance to shine yet. Exactly. But Bobcat would say to you, well, I don't care. I've got my Harley. You see, that's the difference. Well, I'm saying to you, it matters that all these characters are represented in a really awesome, shiny franchise that everyone can enjoy. So you may see a film that you might not like very much, but another million people like it. But then the next film, you like it, is about a character you appreciate. That's what a franchise is all about. That's what the MCU does. So it's not about us copying the MCU, but we need a franchise with more clarity and more broader appeal. And this franchise never appealed to many kids because Snyder doesn't care about kids. And that's great. I don't care. I don't care. You may not want it to appeal to children, but as a business, it needs to do that. And that's just my opinion. Right, everyone. I will be back tonight for Big Mouth Live from 6 p.m. tonight. Ronnie Dodge, Green Arrow, the DCEU treatment. Oh, yeah, I've been dreaming about Green Arrow having the DCEU treatment. Absolutely. That definitely needs to happen. Marcus Walker, I genuinely believe in 5 years' time we could see a DC overtake Marvel. Fingers crossed, fingers crossed. But I believe there's more chance of that, Marcus, with this multiverse strategy than going along the lines we have been. You know, we've been climbing up a bloody wall and falling down every 5 minutes. It hasn't worked as a franchise. And this reboot idea is the only way forward. As a business and for the consumers and the fans, it's the most exciting thing they could have decided to do. Marcus Walker, absolutely. So I will be back tonight just after 6 p.m. with Big Mouth Live, UK time 6 p.m. Big Mouth Live. Let's hope we have more developments and more exciting things to talk about. Come follow me over on Twitter at Movies TV Mad. I will be back tonight with Big Mouth Live just after 6 p.m. UK time. Until then, goodbye. Thank you very much. Ronnie Dodge, see you later, mate. See you later, Ronnie. Thank you, everyone, for your comments. It's been a really great, exciting, heated debate today, and I've enjoyed it. Until tonight, see you later. Bye-bye.